Hi there, my name's Marcus. I'm one of the co-founders here at Refai, and today we're going to be going through the new Refai app that we've just launched. I'm really excited for this video and really excited to take you through the features and what we've built here. I do believe that we've created a powerful tool that can be a real ally for homeowners who are looking at new ways to kind of interpret their current situation and maybe build out strategies to help them pay off their mortgage sooner and set themselves up for that self-funded retirement. Now, before we jump in, I do want to stress that the information in this video is just general in nature and it shouldn't be misconstrued as personal financial advice. And we do recommend that before you act on any of the information in this video or any of the data presented in the app, that you do seek the advice of a licensed financial advisor or planner before taking any actions. Okay, with that being said, let's jump in and have a look at the app. And before I go through the features of the app, I want to kind of explain why we created the app and what we were hoping to achieve. So through our company Refai, we talk to a lot of homeowners who are distressed or in some kind of situation where they're struggling with their mortgage or they want to pay off their mortgage sooner, but they just don't know, I guess, how to achieve that goal. And more importantly, they're kind of confused about how to make sense of their current situation, their numbers. And so what we decided to do was create it started off as just a household budgeting tool, and it kind of evolved from there. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to create a powerful budgeting tool that could first show you where everything's at currently, so you can get a handle of where your spending and your costs are. But then we thought, well, if you've got that data, then let's start building in some tools where you can actually make use of that data and break down the data so that you can interpret it in a way where you can then make confident decisions around the track that you're on currently, or more importantly, what you might want to do moving forward with your money. And so that's where the Refai app was born. And we also had a mandate that we wanted to create a really simple, usable, one-page product. Because what we found is doing research with, of a lot of the other products on the market, there's a lot of really powerful and really cool tools on the market, but you virtually need a PhD just to understand how to use them. And the feedback that we got from most of our clients is that it just wasn't worth the pain of trying to figure out how to use a product to then get in control of your finances or to put a budget together. Managing your money or managing a household budget should be fun and it should be easy. And so that's what the goal was here. So we wanted to build an app that was first easy to use, it made sense, and then it also helped you break down and interpret your situation. Okay, so let's have a look through some of the features, and I'll just walk you through the layout and then we'll come back and walk through each feature step by step. Okay, so I'll start here with the top navigation. So up the top here, you've got this video tutorial, which you're possibly watching right now. You've got the support button. So if you click this here, this will email our support team. So if there's any issues from a technical standpoint with the app, or if you've got any questions, you can email our team directly and we will respond and help you out. If whilst using the app you need to use a calculator, we've built this nice little calculator in here so that you can actually just make your calculations on the fly without having to bring out your phone or search for obviously another calculator. Okay, this dashboard button here, this is the button that will always return you to this screen here. Okay, so this is your home base kind of button. So as you're going through and inputting data, whenever you want to go see the results and the outputs, you just hit the dashboard button there. Okay, so down the side here, we've got our inputs. Okay, so you can fill out your profile here, you can put your income, you can set any mortgages, investment properties that you might have in here, any loans, you'll add them in here, any expenses, you'll add them in this tab, and then obviously assets here. If you do want to book a call with one of our team, you'll see this tab over on the left here, and you can book a call. And if you have booked a call, you'll see here, you've got your meetings tab, which we'll go through in a second. And so effectively that's where you can keep track of where any meetings or upcoming meetings are. Okay, so let's look at the main dashboard, and I'll just scroll down to show you the overall. So we've built this based around 6 main containers. Okay, so you've got 3 containers at the top here, and then you've got these 3 containers at the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to scroll to the bottom, which is where your income and your costs and expenses are represented. Okay, so at the top here, you've got an income summary of all your different fields, also all your different sort of forms of income. So you've got your income, your partner's income, any rental income, any dividend income, and any other income that you might have from like a side business. And then it just combines it here to show you what your total yearly income is. And then down the bottom here, we've got your real estate equity. So if you've got a primary home, we just break down, I guess, how much equity you've currently got in there. Now, equity is obviously the difference between the loan amount and the value of that property. And then we combine that down here, so you can see that you've got your equity position against your loan position. And then down here we've got all of your assets, so all of your savings, shares, equity, crypto, precious metals, collectibles, and then your superannuation 1 and superannuation 2. We total it up there. At the bottom here, we've just got your emergency savings fund. Now, what you'll see here is that we've actually set this to automatically be 6 months of your current income, okay, because we believe that's a great target for most people to aim to achieve. And obviously it's a great sum that just gives you peace of mind if something does happen in the future. Now, if you want to put a manual entry into that, you can change that by clicking this. And then you can simply, okay, we've got the 8 there, you can simply put in a manual field. Now you'll see there it hasn't changed, but you've got this toggle button at the top. So if you go show manual, now it's your manual input, so you can keep track. So it just gives you the ability to toggle back between those two, okay? Now I will say that as we go through this, some of the features that we're going to show you today will be being updated. This app is new, and we're rolling out new features and new updates almost weekly at this stage, and so it's always worth checking back in on the app just to see what new features and things we have put into the app. We're constantly listening to our users, constantly taking feedback, and our goal is just to continually work on this to make it the most powerful app for homeowners that are trying to pay off the mortgage sooner. Okay, so that's the income and assets. On this side here, we've got costs and expenses. So this is, again, when you put your loans and expenses in over on the side here, this is where they will show up. So you can, at a glance, you can see the different categories. Excuse me. And then if you want to click into any category, you can see here the breakdown of where that money is being spent. So at a glance, you can see how much money you're spending on different subcategories, and then the total monthly down at the bottom here as well. Okay, so these are the two, I guess, what we'd call import or data buckets. Then we've got at the top, we've got two output buckets or containers. So internally we refer to them as either containers or buckets. So if I'm jumping between the two of those, if I'm saying buckets or containers, it means the same things. It means one of these sections here, these blocks. Okay, so then we've got your cash flow report here. So once you put all your data in, you've got this chart at the top that breaks down percentage-wise where your current income is going. So you can see here, we work on your gross revenue, which is your pre-tax revenue, because we think it's powerful for people to understand how much of their money they're spending on tax, because again, there's always strategies and there's always things you can look at with your accountant to see if you can reduce that. And so it's important just to understand how much of your money is actually going into, I guess, paying the tax bill every week or every year. So as you can see here, 23% of our income is currently going to tax. Mortgage is taking up about 34%. Debts and loans, car repayments, these things are taking up about 14%, call it 15%. And then you can see, just scroll down here, it'll give you the percentage breakdown. Now, in this bottom field here, this will also give you the category breakdown. And you'll see here with these tickers on the side, it will also indicate to you whether this cost or this particular field has gone up or has gone down on the monthly. And as you can see here, if it goes down, it'll flash green. If it goes up, it'll flash red. So as you update your expenses and your kind of costs each month, it'll just give you an indication here as to whether or not you've increased or decreased in that particular category over that month. So it's a great way just to keep an eye on, I guess, what your spending is doing. Okay, the next one that I want to talk about as far as the output field is this retirement readiness calculator, which is, again, this calculator could use an entire video on itself. And I'm sure we will do another video of this in the future where we isolate just this calculator, because this is a really, really powerful tool. And so effectively what we do is, I believe it's the best way it's the best way for most homeowners to assess whether they're on track for the retirement that they think they're on track for. Okay, so I'll walk you through the features here, and I will just preface this by saying that we are rolling out new features in this also, which I'll reference in this video. Okay, so it all started here with your target retirement fund. And as you can see here, I've got 2.4 million and a little bit of change. So just over 2.4 million. Now, when you log into your app, this will be pre-populated, and I want to explain how we arrived at this figure. So the figure that you see here it's your current income, okay, your current yearly income, minus your current yearly loans and loan repayments, okay? Because when you get to retirement, you won't have your car loan, you won't have your credit cards, you won't have your mortgage, but you'll still be spending all that other money. Now, yes, your spending will look a little bit different in retirement, but this, I believe, is the best way to kind of get a handle on how much will you need in retirement to maintain your current lifestyle. And then what we do is we times that by 20, because the average retirement, if you look at in this country, we retire around 65. I know 67 is the official retirement age, but 65 for a lot of years and for a lot of people is the target. And the average lifespan is around 85. So depending on how healthy you are, and again, that's something that we can't help you with, but 20 years is a good figure to work around. So that we take that figure and we times that by 20. And that gives you this number here. Now, if you do want to adjust this and put a manual figure in, so let's say that you don't quite want to have that much in retirement, you think you can live on a little bit less, then you can always update it here, and you can always put a figure in here of something less based on what you think your retirement target is. Okay, and then to toggle between the two, same thing up here, you can either show your manual input or you can show the original input. Okay, so we're going to work off the original input. Okay, next thing what we do is we obviously input all of your assets. Okay, so we've got your savings, shares, investment, property, equity. Okay, so I will make a note that we don't put equity in your own home here, because when it comes to planning for a self-funded retirement, you want to be sure that you can get there and still have somewhere to live. You don't want to have to be reliant on selling your home and basically having sort of uncertainty around where you're going to live in order to fund your retirement. And so if we're going to be planning, let's plan for the dream scenario where we can have a self-funded retirement and a place to live in. Okay, we've got precious metals, collectibles. Now, in this chart here, it also does some pre-populated calculations. So, for instance, your savings here is 142,000, or in this case, my savings. I will just preface this by saying this is all just dummy data and dummy numbers. But what we've done, if we come over here to assets, and I go to savings, you'll see here currently I've got $25,000 in savings, and I've also put this weekly savings contribution number in here. So what this does is this extrapolates that based on how many years, as you can see here, years till retirement. Based on how many years I've got left to retirement, this is what it's calculating that I should have in savings if in fact I do save the $150 per week between now and retirement. And the same with your superannuation, we've factored in your super contributions. So if we go over here to my super balance or partner super balance, you'll see here that currently we've got 100,000 and our contribution rate is 11%. Now you can always edit all of these and change this. So let's say I want to change that to 12% and update that. This will calculate what your super balance should be based on your current balance and based on your contributions. Okay. So that then gives you this figure at the bottom. Now this is saying that projected I should have $1.5 million. Now you can see here we've also built in this projected growth rate. Okay, so this enables us to see what all of these assets might be worth to us at different growth rates. So let's say it's set at 4% now. So let's go something a little bit more conservative and say, let's say overall our investment portfolio, so let's say that our savings is in a fixed term deposit. Let's say that our gold, our silver, our property, when you sort of combine all of that together, the total investment sort of portfolio that we have will return about a 3% rate. Okay, so that's now updated. So now you can see here that's altered my current retirement projected fund. And you'll see here, it's then produced a current shortfall. So what that effectively is, it's your target minus your projected current situation. Now this is the figure that we need to be working on to try and achieve if we want to create a self-funded retirement where we are maintaining our current lifestyle. And so then we break that figure down over how many years we have left working. So we've got currently 15 years in the workforce to achieve this, which would mean that if we were to save that figure, we'd have to save currently $73,767, which is around $1,419 per week. So the goal is now that we can either try and save this figure or we need to try and achieve this through our investment portfolio. And so this is what the retirement readiness calculator is, and it's a really powerful tool. And I think that for a lot of Australians, it's really eye-opening when you do jump in and start to play around with these numbers, exactly where we might be in relation to where we thought we were. Okay, so a feature that we are rolling out just to update those who are watching this video later is we are building in, we've got the projected growth rate here in the fund. We're also building in a projected inflation rate here as well, so that you can also adjust this based on potential inflationary outcomes as well, because obviously it's important to factor that in when it comes to determining what our target figure might be. Okay, so that's our retirement readiness calculator. Okay, next one here, we've got the mortgage calculator in the middle. So this one's just it's a really powerful tool where you can just play around with your figures. So let's say you've got a mortgage here. We've got 500,000, 6.9% interest, 22 years remaining. This will break down the numbers below. And as you can see here, on this current structure, this current mortgage, we still owe 440,000 in interest. Now, if you want to find out what interest-only payments will be, you can click this button here, and then that will change that figure to the interest-only figure as well. So you can toggle that backwards and forwards. And this extra payment calculator is where the magic happens. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to assess our current cash flow situation, look at our costs and expenses, and see if we can find extra money that we can then start putting towards the mortgage. So let's say that in this scenario, we can put in an extra $200, I'll just click it there, a month. You'll see here that that's taken our mortgage down by 2 years on this current structure. So it's a really fun tool to be able to sit down and just assess your current mortgage, because what we find is a lot of clients, they don't truly understand how much interest that they've still got to pay on their mortgage, nor do they kind of ever look at different ways to, pay off their mortgage in order to reduce the amount of time and the amount of the amount of interest they have to pay on that loan. So this is a really powerful tool. Then down here we've got your investment tools, okay, which come into play when you are doing the retirement planning, or if you might be looking to assess an investment opportunity. So this one here is just simply a growth calculator. So let's say that we've got an asset worth 10,000 and we want to see that, see what that would be worth if it grew at 4.2%, and let's say over 12 years. We just hit calculate there, and so that's telling us now this is a compounded growth calculator. So this takes into the fact that that is 4.2% compounded annually over that 12 years. So this is saying that the 10,000 in the asset should be worth around 16,384 in 12 years. So that's a really powerful tool as well, just to help you understand and break down your numbers a little bit more. So at the bottom here, we've got the asset cash flow calculator. Now this is predominantly used for if you were considering buying an investment property, but it can also be used if you're looking to invest in any kind of asset class where you might have some kind of loan against it. Okay, so let's just use an investment property. Okay, so enter the monthly income. So let's say you're looking at a investment property where you might be getting 4,000 in rent. On top of that, there's about another 200 in fees and costs, management fees. And so now we want to put in the monthly loan repayment. So let's say the property that we're getting has a loan of, let's say it's costing us about that a month. And as you can see here, it'll break down whether that is negative or positively geared. So as you can see in this scenario here, on the monthly, we're negative geared 442. So let's see if we change this figure here to 8. And, sorry, let me do that again. So let me put a lower figure in, I should say. I put a higher figure in then. So let's put a lower figure in there. And as you can see here, this is now telling me that if these were the numbers, that it would be positively geared. So it just gives you a little way to kind of on the fly assess any kind of investment opportunity you might be looking at as to what the impacts might be on your bottom line and your cash flow. Okay, so that's the dashboard and how you assess and how you use the tools, you assess the data and use the tools, I should say. Okay, some other features in the app which are really cool. If at any stage you would like to talk to one of our team or get back in contact with someone that you've been talking with, you can simply request a call through these one-click request call buttons here. And so effectively what this allows you to do, if you want to get a mortgage refinance, if you want to look at a debt consolidation, if you want to get a mortgage strategy, whatever it might be, the beauty of this app is it makes it as seamless and easy as possible for you to do that regularly. Because what we find is one of the biggest constraints to most people consistently looking at their finance situation and more importantly their mortgage is that it's just too much of a hassle. So by creating this app, what we're hoping to do is create a central point where you can get a refinancing check, you can get an interest rate check, you can get a debt consolidation check at a simple click of a button. And it takes all that workload of having to get documents together, having to kind of go and have meetings and make calls and these sort of things. All the stuff that on the surface don't sound too egregious, but at the end of the day, it's the thing that stops a lot of us from getting regular checks and regular updates on our mortgages. So these are really powerful. So if you want to have a chat about mortgage reduction strategies, you can click one and book one here. If you want to get an interest rate review, you can simply book a meeting here, and so on and so forth. Now, the other cool thing is, if you have obviously been engaging with us, most of you using this app would have engaged with us at some point. You can simply come in here if you like, and you can find your consultant that you've been talking to, and you can actually leave them a review. So let's say that you spoke to Ken on the phone and you thought he was a lovely gentleman, and you could just come in here and just leave Ken a review and submit that feedback. Because at the end of the day, we're always trying to get more and more, or as much customer feedback as possible, because that's how we improve our business and that's how we grow. So I thought that was a really powerful feature that we'd build into the app. Okay, so setting up your app, I've got another video for that, so we'll go through that for another time. And the last thing I wanted to touch on was just these top cards here. So as you can see here, this just breaks down your net cash flow on a monthly basis. So it takes all of that data, and so to snapshot, you can see how much net cash flow you've got after you pay all of your bills. This is your net assets, so that if you were to liquidate all your assets currently, this would be the figure that you're left over with. And then you've got what your net debts, or total debts are, I should say. So essentially what your assets are against. And so in this case, we've got 960,000 in total debts. Then you've got your savings here. And as we've discussed, you've got your retirement shortfall, which is the one up on the sort of top right here. So they're the key, I guess, data points that we believe give you a really strong, just at a glance view of what your current financial situation looks like. And again, we'll go over here and just have a look at this side profile. So if you do want to update any of your data that you have put into your profile, it's as easy as coming over here. Let's say you want to update your profile, you can click here, and as you can see, all of your information is here. So this is just a testing account, obviously, so this is all dummy data. But if you want to update, then you just change that and go update. Profile updated, select. Okay, now if you want to update your income, you simply come here, and as you can see here, you can just change these fields and modify these fields as you need, and hit submit. And the same with your mortgage. So what you'll do here is you go update details for your mortgage, and then you'll see any mortgage details that you've got here, and you can click on and toggle these two. So you can see this is PPR, primary residence, and this one here is, bear with me, that's my investment property. Again, these are all dummy sort of inputs at this point. Okay, so then you've got your loans, same thing here. So again, you can go through and update any vehicle loans, credit cards, personal, student loans, those sort of things. Expenses, so this is the one where you'll come in monthly and you will update each field. So let's go through. When you log in here, you'll see this, which is what your current situation is. And so at a glance, you can see, okay, is this still the case? If not, you simply click the edit button, and then you can go through here and then you can update these. So let's say maintenance repairs this month was more expensive. I can then press update to that. Then that will automatically update it into the dashboard as well. As you're doing expenses, because often there are sometimes yearly expenses, and this is all worked out on the monthly. Simply hit the calculator here. So if you want to find out what something is worth on the monthly that's a yearly, you can just divide that by the figure, and there you've got it there. Okay, so that's the Refai app at a glance. As we said, we're rolling out new features continuously, and we've got some really exciting features that we're going to be building off the back of this that I think are going to become real staples for homeowners who are really serious about wanting to pay off their homes sooner. Because again, if we're serious, the first step to any kind of financial security, or financial freedom, is getting control of our monthly spending and understanding our week-to-week situation. Because I think most of us out there are guilty of just not taking control of this, and it's very easy these days for money to leave our wallets with all the subscriptions and things that we do haphazardly sign up for. So having a tool where we can centralize that information, we can take stock at each month, and we can take real control over our spendings and our costs, and then we can redeploy that into obviously mortgage savings or future investments or whatever it is that you choose to do with your money. So I hope this video was helpful. I'm excited for you to try our free app, and please, if you've got any feedback, or if you want to talk about any new potential updates or any new features that you'd like us to build into the app, please reach out. We would love to hear from you. In the meantime, I hope you have a great day.